Yeah, War with Ignorance is the name of the show today. I ain't gonna lie, I'm feeling kind of down. Not like in my life, but just like I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling tired. Um, um, War with Ignorance. That's a hopeless battle. That's completely hopeless. And yet I go on fighting. And I'm either crazy or stupid. I don't know. Maybe a combination of the two. Like I say, I'm definitely feeling some kind of way. Um, there was a movie. There was a movie. It was called Lovely Bones. It was like a thriller horror story where it was really following the ghost of this young girl who was killed. And she was killed by her neighbor. And the movie kind of follows her and her family, and it's like the dad and the mom, they end up getting a divorce. The dad kind of goes crazy, and the killer never gets caught. The killer gets away with it. At the end of the movie, he dies, but he dies as an old man. He dies alone with in like a freak accident, and it's like, where's the justice? Like, that movie leaves you very unsettled. Um, I've watched it a couple times, and it's really kind of painful to watch. Ain't gonna lie. Excuse me, but I think it's a lot like what life is really like. You know, those kind of stories are the ones that's more real to me because you know justice don't always come. Like in a lot of movies, okay, the good guys win, the bad guys lose, and then the movie goes off. You know, but in life, that isn't necessarily. I would say that that's not the case most of the time. I think maybe sometimes that happens, but I think more times than not, it actually goes the other way. You know, where the bad guy never gets caught. You know, gets away with it, and he lives a long, fruitful life. You know, it's really, really, really sad. So I don't know. That's just one. I just was thinking about that in the idea of like the war against ignorance. It's hopeless, I think. You know, even though I keep pushing on, um, trying to help people is hopeless. Like I've spent a lot of time in my life, and I think that I've hurt myself in many ways. You know, trying to help people, and I've been really trying to figure out how do you actually do that because I've mentioned it before in the show. Like giving people money, most of the time is doesn't really help them. You know, like you pay somebody's rent
It's a
one
short-term
month and
fix.
then and the next month they just need money for their rent again. Like you didn't really help them. Maybe you prolonged the inevitable. You know, you enabled them or whatever. You know. So like I say, I don't know how to actually help people. So that's part of the reason why I do this show is trying to figure out how to help people. I feel like educating them is the best way. Like trying to get them to be more aware. But the problem with that is that the person has to want to be more aware. You know, they
Hmm.
have to want to improve. They have to want to do better. You know, so basically they have to help themselves. So trying to help someone, in a lot of cases is kind of a mute point. You know, and then I like to say a lot of times I don't like to give advice. I don't really like to give advice to people. But when you think about it, it's like that's the best you can do for them. Give them a good word. They take it or they leave it, and you've done your part. Because the way I feel about things, like I like to walk in integrity. So in every moment. So when a moment comes around where there's something that needs to be said and no one says it, then I feel obligated to say it. And that's as much as I can really do is say what needs to be said. If it's heard or not, that's That's not on me. I've done it. I've put it out in the universe, and I feel like I've done my part. So that's kind of what I'm doing with this show. And I just, the difficulty, like I say, the hopelessness of it is really, really painful. Um, there's a song by J. Rue the Damager, and in the song he says, you know, he says, "I'm trying to kill ignorance," and then they're like, "That doesn't make no sense. He rules the world. I know this from experience." And I think that's true. I think that that ignorance rules the world. Um and the people that you want to call evil or whatever, the bad people, the ones that take advantage of people's ignorance. I don't know that you can necessarily call them evil, although I don't really like it. I really hate it when I see people take advantage of other people, you know. But at the same time, if you're more educated, if you're more knowledgeable about things, it's much more difficult for people to take advantage of you. So they look for the idiots. They look for the people that aren't aware. They look for the people that are ignorant, and they take advantage of them. They run them through the mill. Like it's another movie. It's Matilda, and the guy, he's like, there's an idiot born every day, and we're gonna take them for all they got. He gets up every day to take advantage of people that you know don't know things.
Scammer. Yeah.
Scammers. And I was talking about in the other show, it's like we're living in the age of the scammers, like the internet, all of the stuff on the internet, like majority of the stuff on the internet is a ripoff. The majority of the stuff on the internet is a lie. The majority of the stuff on the internet is fake. And then like everyone just kind of falls in line and takes it in, and just, they're trying to
That's,
sell you something. Go ahead. What are you gonna
well,
say?
I just wanted to add that that's, I mean, that's the main thing. Like, all right, if ignorance is ruling, that means that this is mostly what people like or appreciate, or some people, I mean, to some extent, they're okay with being
Like
scammed
even
or
even to the point where they want to be used, they want to be taken advantage of, like it's the way
well,
of the
not just
world.
used, because I mean, using somebody is not necessarily bad. Being misused is more acceptable, or I mean, because like I mean, we talk about different people. Like, I had a conversation about dating, and it's like, okay, you don't like when this person cheats on you, but you choose the cheating type. That's the one that you enjoy, you have fun with. But then when the playtime is, when it's over after he cheats, and you're not, like, now you're sad again. So it's like,
You're
why
you're
not why not
you're
choose someone who is more responsible with your heart?
and you're screwing yourself mentally. It's like you're expecting disappointment. You're expecting them to lie. You expect them to, you know, to take advantage of you. And then, what's so crazy about that is when you tell someone the truth and they think it's a lie. When you lie to them, they take that as the truth.
Hmm.
You know, that's crazy. That's a so twisted mental right there. Like, like I say, you expect people to take advantage of you, and when they're not trying to take advantage of you, when they're trying to be kind, when they're trying to help you, then they look at you like you're crazy
Something's
and you're weird. They
something's
really
wrong with
just
you.
don't
Yeah.
understand it. It's like they
Yeah.
don't get it. It's like something is wrong with you. If you want to help me, like, what, you trying to help me? You
You
trying
know
to
what I'm
help
saying?
Ike?
Don't you know I'm a fool?
You trying to help Ike? Ike ain't the one that need the help around here. Did somebody say Coke? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I'm just feeling kind of down. I think that I'm feeling down just because I'm like tired. I think I'm physically tired, but I'm also like emotionally tired, you know?
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, we all go through it. I mean, at times, I mean, shoot, I kind of have my periods as well. So, but I mean, that's one thing about, when you're someone who follows nature, you learn to accept those things. Okay, the that imbalance, you're gonna have the out of balance, you're gonna have imbalance, you're gonna have the neutral. You're gonna be like somewhere in that, on that range. So it's like you just take it as it goes. I mean,
Yeah, you're supposed to go with the flow. You indulge in it. It's like you're supposed to be in the moment. So you know that sometimes it'll be good moments, and sometimes they're bad moments, and sometimes they're just neutral moments. And that is part of the universe, the cycles of the universe. That is how the balance works.
yeah,
So I
sure,
think that being aware of it is what is important. When you get
definitely.
when you're not aware of it and you sucked into it, and you think that you should be up all the time, or you think that things should be good all the time, and you think that that's not how life works.
Mm-mm.
you know there's another movie, The Professional, um the movie about the guy with the little girl. Her family got killed, and this dude was an assassin. She asked him, she said, "Is life always this hard?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's always this way."
Hmm.
Like when I first saw that movie, you expect because he's talking to a child, you expect him
Hmm.
to say, something uplifting, something, to make him feel better, but he doesn't.
Hmm.
He just says,
Well,
"Yeah,
well,
it is like
but I
this."
can appreciate that more than the lies, and that's like one of the things that I already see happening, because we have already gone through a generation, or at least a generation, maybe, I don't know, a couple of eras for sure, of children being rewarded for losing, for being a loser. So when you start to see that changing, like the aftermath of it is this, they have expectations of things that they didn't work for, like, or didn't prove themselves for. It's just like, okay, yeah, but I want it, like, type of idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't deserve it, but I want it.
Yeah, but I'm
I
not
don't.
willing to do anything for it. And it's
Yeah.
like I could have easily made the title, "The War with Laziness," because I think that the laziness and the ignorance kind of go together. That maybe the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't care to spend the time to actually learn anything, and I'm willing to just accept whatever the hell happens as a result. Like, just kind of go with the flow as far as, like, you know go go along to get along, or do whatever I have to do to get by. Do as little as possible, learn as little as possible,
Mm-hmm.
just to get on to the next day.
It's enough just to.
But then you're stuck in this cycle. You're stuck in this cycle where you keep on running into the same problems, the same. You keep on getting the same results, and you're thinking that something's going to be different, and it's not, because you haven't put in any effort to make it any different. And then you lie to yourself, and then you get caught up in certain moments, like, you know pleasure, right? Because that's another
Hmm.
thing. We indulge in huge amounts of pleasure. There's a quote somewhere where it's like, hell, a hell that's full of all of the pleasures that you could imagine. you know you're in a hell of pleasures. You're indulging all of these pleasures, but it's
Hmm.
really not. It's really hell.
Yeah.
And I think that's a pretty good description of the world that we live in. We have all these gadgets. You know, you have the porn, and you have the sex robots, or the sex machines, and you have the drugs. You have the all the entertainment that you could possibly think of. You're scrolling on these TikToks, and you're watching these TV shows or whatever, and it's all just like telling you what you want to hear. You know, one of the things I find really funny is like the shows that try to make you feel smart with using all these big words and stuff, and you feel like you know stuff like the Law and Order type shows, you know, like
Hmm.
like like I understand the law now. Like I
Hmm.
could be a FBI
Oh my
agent.
God.
I watch so much Law and Order. I could do their
I
job
can be
better than them.
I can be a detective.
Yeah.
Like I told y'all, like people
Like
really do.
I knew what was gonna happen. Shit, I had figured it out at the beginning of the episode, but they don't realize that's what the show is doing. It's it's feeding you and making you feel like you're smart and like you're figuring it out. It's all totally leading you in this direction. I can't even enjoy that stuff because you already know what's gonna happen at the beginning of the damn show.
Well, that's what I'm about to say. I mean, is it not like typical? Like certain things are gonna happen, about to happen in a movie, TV show, whatever. Usually because of the structure.
Right.
And
Because it has the same structure, especially the TV shows. Especially the same thing happens every episode.
hmm
That's why you already know what's gonna happen, and then it makes you feel like you're smart. But no, that's the structure of the show. It always goes the same way. It's like dun dun. What's that sound? Chun that it makes. So funny. I was
yeah,
watching. Robot Chicken was making fun of it, and it was just like a chicken going, "Bup, bup, 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 bup," and then it would go, dun, dun, just like the show. And the whole little skit was just that. But you already knew without them saying any words, you knew what they were saying
hmm
because it was the structure. It followed the structure of the show. Like, oh my
hmm
god. They
yeah, man,
they don't even have to say no words. You already know what the hell they're saying.
yeah.
You can watch the Law and Order show without the sound. Follow it completely.
Across the United States of America have been grounded due to a glitch with the Federal Aviation Administration's